Okay, with our thread checks done, the design now set up in the machine, and the colors chosen, and the hoop also selected, we're just about ready to go ahead and begin sewing. Now, one thing we want to do, especially before we begin sewing first thing in the day, is that we want to go ahead and oil the machine just before we start. And we're oiling the sewing hook, which is underneath the bobbin. So we'll kind of take a closer look here underneath the bobbin case door. Basically open the bobbin case door, remove your bobbin case, and to kind of have a much better look at where the that oiling point is, let's go ahead and remove the hoop. And you can see at the bottom arc here, there's a small ridge, or what's called a race, and we want to take our oiling, whatever we're using to oil, we want to apply 1 drop of white sewing machine oil. And the oil that came with your Journey machine is perfect for that, right there in that race, or that gutter. And we'll go ahead and replace the bobbin case. Again, remembering that to hang about 4 to 6 inches of bobbin thread down through that pigtail and down the face of the bobbin thread. Closing the bobbin case door and replacing the hook, replacing the hoop. Okay, now continuing on, we want to make sure also that the machine is at the main sewing screen. And where we last left off in another video, we had just selected the hoop and made sure that it fits within the sewable area. We can also perform a trace by hitting the trace button, in which case the machine now moves over the laser pointer. And we also now have VCR-like controls with the play forward and back buttons, where we can hit that play button. You can actually see that the laser pointer is now pointing to where the outline of the design is going to fall within the hoop. You'll see a small red dot that shows that fit. In fact, let's go ahead and have another look at that. You can see quite nicely that laser dot. And again, hitting the play button, you can see how that laser dot is now pointing to where the edges of the design are going to fall within that sewable area of the hoop. Okay, the trace is finished, and which is another way of verifying the fit of the design inside the sewable area. And let's make sure that we're back out to the main screen by pressing the escape button. And we're basically ready to sew. Now, one quick note about sewing. A lot of questions we get are, what speed should we sew at? The Journey machine is able to sew up to 1,000 stitches per minute. And you have a small control panel here with a speedometer that you can hit that lets you adjust the speed down from 300 stitches a minute all the way to 1,000. Try and set a conservative speed starting out, maybe 600 or 700, or whatever you feel comfortable with. Try not to sew top speed the first time around until you've done this a few times. And pretty much when you hit OK, you're ready to hit start. So we'll start the sew out. And you can see that the machine moves over to that selected color and begins sewing. Now the machine will sew as close to the top speed that you allow it, but the speed will vary depending on the length of the stitches in that particular part of the design. You can let the machine alone as it performs its color changes. First stopping, pause, cutting the thread, and then moving on to the next color. And this is sewing with Happy's 7-needle Journey machine.